Let's take a few minutes now to look more closely at how the prospect of mass raids by immigration and customs enforcement, as we've just been discussing, reverberate in immigrant communities. After postponing earlier raids in June, the president said last week that major arrests were expected in a number of cities starting yesterday. But so far, the number of people detained appears to be small. Government officials are said to be pursuing about 2,000 undocumented immigrants and migrants who are no longer eligible to remain in the country after a court ordered them to be removed and deported. As we reported earlier, the president today claimed that there were more arrests over the weekend than people realize, and more could come later this week in at least 10 cities. For a sense of how targeted communities are reacting, we turn now to Shannon Camacho. She's a coordinator with the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. It's a group that counsels immigrants on their legal rights. Shannon Camacho, welcome to the NewsHour. What is your sense of how many raids there were over the weekend? Do you know of immigrants who were rounded up and arrested?
First of all, thank you very much for having me. So about this weekend, I coordinate our LA Raids Rapid Response Network, which is a coalition of organizations, attorneys, and community members that go out to the community to verify ICE enforcement. And our staff at Shirla also does the same. And so over the weekend, we had not heard of these types of large-scale mass operations that Trump had been threatening our community with. We had not heard of those large-scale operations, thankfully. And ever since June, we have been doing the Know Your Rights information. We have been giving that information to community members so that they understand their fundamental constitutional rights, regardless of whether the operations happen in June, they happen tomorrow, or they happen into the next month. We're preparing our community. So as of right now, we have not heard of those massive operations, but we're still keeping our community informed, and we're still keeping our ears to the ground.
What effect are the president's comments having on the people in these communities?
So the effect, obviously, people are afraid, and obviously people are worried and feel like this administration and this government is attacking them rather than protecting them. But I think what we've seen, especially here in Los Angeles, through the organizing that we've been doing for years, and even since June when these threats first came into places, we've seen people come to us with a thirst for knowledge, for information on how to protect themselves and how to protect their families, and trying to understand that this is something that is an attack against them. And so how can they best guard themselves? And so we have seen community members come to our office to learn more about their fundamental constitutional rights, like the fact that they have the right to remain silent, that they have the right not to open their door if ICE comes to them, that ICE can only have permission to enter an individual's home if they have a judicial arrest warrant signed by a judge. They're coming for that information, and we're equipping them with that. So we are seeing the community on high alert, but we're seeing the community be galvanized as well.
So you're saying they're not going into hiding or attempting to place themselves in a place where they wouldn't be found?
So in the city of Los Angeles and in the surrounding areas, I can imagine that there are probably many, many families who are afraid, and that's something very normal. But in terms of what we've seen, especially through our community members, through the rapid response networks, we have seen people really step up to the challenge with fear, but reminding themselves that they do have these constitutional rights. So we do see people prepared. We have had Know Your Rights workshops all throughout Los Angeles, and others are having them throughout the state. And so people are coming to these. We're seeing a lot of people come and ask really good questions. And so that's something that's very encouraging, that people are taking this Know Your Rights information and they're using it.
I think it's important that you're saying this, Shannon Camacho, because I think many people have the impression that if people overstay what is their legal right to stay, if they have exceeded an order, or if they are disobeying a deportation order, many people would look at that and say, well, they're violating the law. But you're saying despite these orders, they have rights.
Yes, and even one of the populations that Trump said he was going to target was people with final deportation orders. And that sounds like it's the end-all be-all of those people's cases, but in actuality, that is not the case. Even people with final deportation orders still have to go through the appeal process in immigration court, and also it is very important that they speak to an immigration attorney before anything happens so that they can get a legal consultation to see if there's any immigration relief for them. So that's something that can be done at any stage. And us at CHIRLA, we do have removal defense attorneys that provide that service to the community members. And so ever since June, we've been telling folks, come speak with us.
So when you are asked to give advice to individuals who are subject to a deportation order, what is your basic advice to them? Are you saying to them, don't open the door? What do you say to them?
Yes, we say remain silent. When ICE asks you questions, whether it be outside your door or on the street, don't give any additional information to them. Close your door. Don't open the door if they come to your house. Again, ICE needs to have a judicial arrest warrant signed by a judge with accurate information on the document. And very, very rarely do they actually have those documents. It's very rare. So most of the time, they don't have permission to enter an individual's home. And so we tell people close the door. And then the last thing we really stress is create family plans. Make sure that you have designated people in your family or your friends that are ready to activate to either get you an attorney or to meet with your children if they need to be picked up from daycare. Those sorts of things are something that all our community members can do beforehand so that they're prepared in the case of an arrest.
Shannon Camacho with the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. Thank you very much.
Thank you.